So, I'm LD, and I've been seeing ghosts my whole life, and I get a lot of questions about this. Like, people get interested in like the paranormal and how do you know the difference and things like that. And this seems to be a very big thing and a big question I get all the time. How do you know if the ghost is a bad ghost or a loved one? And that's a very good question. You know, um, one thing I want, if I'm going to give you advice, okay, if you're just maybe coming into your gift, or maybe, you have had this gift for a long time, but you don't know, my advice would be for you to say, think about how you feel when you're in this space with this spirit. We'll call it spirit. How are you feeling? Like, if you have a bad feeling or a bad thought, that's a sure good sign. It's not a ghost, okay? So that's number one. Always pay attention to how you feel, whether you're an empath or medium, etc. Another thing is, again, like, does it feel help? Do you feel at peace? Do you feel grounded? Um, are you afraid? Are you scared? Are you worried? Like, how are you feeling? I know I'm not trying to keep going on and on about this, but you can't just trust the appearances alone. Um, you this would be a good way to really test the authenticity. Like, okay, would my loved one say this kind of stuff to me? And you really just want to, whoever you believe in, you got to stay connected with your values. It doesn't matter, Christian, pagan, Wiccan, etc. If this thing is telling you to go against your will, then obviously that's a wolf in sheep's clothing right there. That's a sure good sign. It's not good. And it's not your loved one. So you definitely want to take your time with it. If it's telling you you need to do this now, and you haven't even caught up with your feelings, like, okay, I have a really weird feeling about that. Why would I go do this right now if I have an awful feeling about it? That's another sign. It's not a good spirit. Um, you want to look in the consistency. A lot of the things, though, you can get a trickster so easily, and those are like bad. Technically, those would be bad spirits, bad entities. They're going to lead you astray. So if it's not consistent with your values or your thoughts or your prayers or your healing, your kindness, then it's obviously it's bad. So we'll get into the protection thing in a next video. But if you're a Christian, a passage that would be good for you is 1 John 4:1, and that's the test the spirits. It's a recommended prayer, and it's asking for God's protection, and that helps you against any spirit, bad, negative spirits. So think about that. And if you're not Christian and you're like pagan or Wiccan or whatever, just make sure that you're making a protection circle. And again, we'll get into that into another video. But anyways, I hope this helps somebody. I love you guys. And yeah, be careful.